Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a new week, and it's a Monday. And I've got like this new structure here for my microphone. Isn't it cool? I think it's cool. I think it's really nifty. Good morning, Brent. Good to see you. So yeah, I got a really cool microphone arm that I can use now. And weirdly, once I set up this microphone arm, my board started acting like a normal board. I don't know what's the story with it, but it was like before. Whenever I had this thing set up, I would rig the board, and you guys would be saying it's just way too loud, and I wouldn't even see any of the meters move. And now, I don't know what I did to rig the board or something. All I did was buy a new cable for my microphone. But I think that I also took off the sock over the microphone here. So I feel like that might have done something. I don't know. Anyway, the arm now has the light, so that whenever the arm is out of the way, the light that usually lights me up so that I'm well lit for this particular broadcast is not, in fact, in my face all the time for just normal computer operation. So I'm slowly but surely modifying my little area over here to be in good shape, I think. So there you go. We're going to try what's going on here. I'm going to move my microphone over a little bit more. And we're going to get ready, and we're going to work a little bit today on Fred's work, just to make sure that this thing's done, because we're almost done with one piece. We've got another piece that shouldn't take that long to do. And then we're going to try a speed paint. We're going to see whether that works. I mean, you know, anything could happen. Okay. So we're back here with this particular piece. Make sure that we're all good over here. Yep, we're good. Okay. So this piece isn't going to require a lot. It doesn't need a lot more. Just some fine tuning. Make sure that it's ready to go. I want to do a little bit more here to kind of just indicate that this is on the wrong layer. You have to stop. But why? You're on the wrong layer. Alright, there we go. Can't be an art day without a wrong layer. At least once, right? That Star Trek computer was just awesome. It was like, looked totally like a pad that you'd have on your table. I think that'd be fun. All right, bring in some dark area here, just to make it so that I've got some weight behind him. There we go. Kind of putting in some deep shadows so that this just looks dramatic. Trying to kind of get some drama going on here. Lots of drama. Don't like drama in my life, but I do like drama in my pictures. You know, it's a thing. Bring some of this to hard pressure. There we go. It does explain, in fact, one of the reasons why this wasn't working so well. Had a lot to do, I'm sure, with the fact that I was on the wrong brush. Wrong layer, wrong brush. What's going on today? There we go. That looks much better. Getting a good amount of drama in here for it's just to work very well. I'm going to leave a white line here to, right? Good morning, Patsy. Good to see you. There we go. I think this is the first time that you've been with us. I know, layer check. And not only is it only Monday, but we are like 7 whole minutes in, and I'm already on layer check. Seven whole minutes in, I'm at a layer check. So, Patsy, this is a piece that I'm doing for a role-playing book. I'm actually illustrating some of the pieces in this role-playing book. So we're in here just coloring these in and getting this ready to go. This is a filler piece for this page. So it's some of the filler art in here. I feel kind of like I took away from this a little too much. You have to know he's actually in lotus position. So the author of the book has specifically requested that this look like kind of 80s, 90s era books. So, kind of doing that here. Giving him some dynamics. And well, he's definitely hovering above his carpet area here. Oh, you mean the Patreon message about character design and stuff like that? Yeah, I am not a fan of this culture's prudishness, and it makes it difficult for me to decide what am I doing with things. When I do character designs, I design all the way down on the character because I need to know whether there are anything that I might want to put on the character that needs to be dealt with. So, but it also then makes people, and I've had weird discussions. People are like, well, why do you need to draw them naked? Well, I don't need to draw them naked. Why do I need to draw them in different uniforms? I don't need to draw them in different uniforms either. I mean, I just like to be thorough. Make sure I get everything on the character squared away. Always makes me wonder, because I've actually I've been having a hard time thinking about what to do for patrons. And it's always been my problem. I kind kind of like, well, this is... So I've been like, well, I mean, obviously that's one thing I could share with patrons is the full character designs, all 3 pages of the character designs. But, it's kind of one of those, not necessarily trying to be a not safe for work sort of patronage. But then again, it's really pretty much the only thing I don't share out here on Facebook, because they would get me banned on Facebook because it's stupid. It's just stupid. So, anyway. It's something to ponder, and I actually kind of do ponder it. These are all things that just make me go, So I kind of have this pondering thing that makes me just, I don't know. I mean, I'm like, well, what do I do with my patrons? So that's actually a good question. I've got, you two are both patrons. So this kind of makes me wonder, what would you guys want me to put on there? It's like, what would you guys like to see? I mean, I can put the Kitty Wakes deck plans up there. That's useful. Even like do it in 1 meter squares, or 1 square equals 5 feet. You could have it clear for D&D 5e. That'd be funny. Right? You are a patron, and I appreciate you being a patron, my friend. But I mean, that's sort of a ponderable, right? I mean, it's like, we all kind of have to think about this. I actually ponder this all the time. What do I do for my patrons? Because, like, my dear friend, hey, Kelsey, good to see you. We're drawing today. You have coffee? Want to join me? You have a pen and paper? You should be drawing, too. So, coffee. And that's what Maurice was saying, Patsy, was that he likes the monthly updates, but I feel kind of like that's redundant. I mean, don't you guys kind of get that update by just hanging with me? I guess you guys all don't hang with me every day, so that makes some sense. I mean, Brent does, but oh, come on, really? Not everybody hangs with me all the time, so I could see that. That makes some sense. Ooh, right. Am I missing something? Oh, it's filling me white, that's why. Now I get it. I'm like, why is that not working? It's a Monday. It's acting like a Monday. All right, so what I'm doing here is I have added just a black square for highlight. This is a 90s, 80s, 90s comic, well, maybe comic technique that we use. Oh, well, it's good to see you on here, Andrew, even if it's for just a minute. I love filming. All right. We're just kind of going around the edge here. Give sort of a little bit of a highlight. There we go. So this is piece one that we're going to work on today. Well, it'll be pretty easy to do. We just needed to finish this guy up. He's already ready to kind of roll out the door. So Kelsey, what we're doing today is I'm working on artwork for oh, there you go. Artwork. I'm doing artwork for Fred, strangely. He's got I'm like totally cryptic. Everybody's like, I mean, I guess if you knew your Japanese eras, that. But I'm dating my artwork in a very cryptic way. Oh well. All righty. Find that one to be done. All right, so I'm going to real quickly save this piece, and then we're going to move on to the next piece. All right, so hit the save button and close. We'll move on to you. And then we'll go back to sharing the page. Already pre-black outed all of these things. Okay. So this one is going to be a Gwyn, this penguin, and he's sticking his head out of the water here. Like rocks and stuff like that. I mean, just not rocks, because it's just sand. Right? He's sticking his head out of the water. Like this. Sand all around him. Right, he's not sticking his head out of the water, he's sticking his head out of the sand. And clearly got buried. Either with or without his. I'll put a little bit of sand on top of his head, because that's always funny. This looks kind of more like poop on top of his head, but let's not do that. All right. There we go. So enjoy seeing some new art. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what kind of art I could do. Every so often I have, like with Maurice and Dan Peak, I've got a couple of patrons who just patronize me because they're just wanting to support and stuff like that, which I feel kind of like is what my Patreon is. It's the tip jar, so to speak, if you want to just support. But then I always feel kind of bad Yeah, no, that's actually exactly what he's supposed to look like. Apparently, in the story or in the game universe, those particular guys are they're accused often of being aliens, but then they dress like aliens to help. That doesn't help any their image because they're like, we're not aliens, but they're dressed like aliens and they wander around going beep bop boop and stuff like that. So the idea being that they sort of act like aliens, so they end up being accused of being aliens. And I find that funny. So, all right. Now, what we're doing here is just adding in sunlight, right? This is going to end up being super dramatic, but only out here. Less dramatic as we get closer to land here. There we go. So Kelsey, you still out there? How you doing? What's going on in your world? What's up? What's up, dude? Kelsey is a buddy of mine from the convention circuit. And so, kind of going along here. And we're just adding in some rough idea of what the water is going to look like. We'll have our little surfer guy hang out right here. There we go. More like this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because otherwise I'm not going to get the detail that I want out of this. There we go. All right. I get the feeling the surfer guys are like really friendly. So there we go. Kind of making him look friendly. He's like, hey, look, it's a penguin. The penguin's like, yeah, okay. Right. But no, really, it's a penguin. Penguin's like, whatever, dude. It's like Rocket, right? Penguin's like, nobody asked me to be modified. Okay. Cleaning up the dunes here. There we go. So the description on him is that he's a surfer, which apparently is a group of humans that have adaptation for water. So he's like a merman, but I don't think he's got the flipper. He's not half fish. So Brent's asking if he's a merman. And I'm going ahead and just color this all in because we've got to put in waves. The waves are going to be hard, and we really need to do them in reverse. It'll be a lot easier to deal with them if it's in reverse. So I find, like I said, this game setting is fascinating in that yeah, I'm glad you got a big tablet. That's cool, Bats. I say, it's nifty. Okay, we're going to do this. Come in here like this. And what I'm actually going to do is, once we're here, I'm going to come back around like this. And I'm just putting in like just the hint of water out here that will be coming in these waves, right? They're coming up on the poor guy right here. And another one that's right out here. And way out here. And this one's starting to break. Like that. And make sure that continues all the way across. Waves are relatively large structures, so we want to make sure that they all mimic all the way across. And this wave will be in reverse here. All right. And then this closer wave also lives right here in reverse. And then lives out in this side of the picture. Like this. And all I'm going to do here, I'm just making it rough on the edge. Like that. We've got that same wave going like this. And all these places, it's sort of cresting. Right? So up here, this area up here is the text for the book. But since I don't have permission to actually broadcast the text for the book, I black it out so that when we're doing the artwork, I mean, I've got permission to show my artwork online, but don't quite have permission to show the text. So it's sort of that way, which is all right. I actually probably don't think that the individual who does this or whose this is wouldn't mind that much. But again, there's no reason to expose his rules, his book's rules, and the writing of the book to potential copyright issues. I don't mind you guys seeing it, but this is going out on all the social media platforms, so lots of folks are seeing it. And Kelsey popped in just to say hi and then disappeared. I think she's not joining me for the whole show, which is okay. That is totally fine. I think she just wanted to say hi and show support, which is awesome. There we go. So these clouds are going to be illuminated by the sun, but then on the same token, they're going to be dark in silhouette because they're in the front. Right? Give it a little bit of just something in front of the sun here, just a little bit, because there always is. There's always that one cloud has to ruin your perfect beach scene. Always that one cloud. Just a little storm at sea out here is what we got going on, right? Oof, messed up my line. And then we got these clouds. They're just like, they're poofy and they're facing the sun. So you want to put the highlight up here. And the rest of it's just a silhouette. Alright, we're just kind of doing... This just gives it the impression something's going on out here. Okay. I've kind of done this line along the top here to indicate where the water line is on this. But one of the things that you're going to get is right here near where the sun is, you have waves, but then you also have like these bits of dark and light which go across here. This indicates other waves that are hanging out in the boonies out there, going out to sea. Do the same thing over here. We did over there. Let's go ahead and point these up a little bit more. Right. There we go. Now we've got this guy here in the water. Hanging out with the Gwen, smiling at the Gwen. He thinks the Gwen's awesome. We really want to smooth this out because the ocean's very smooth. So we don't want any kind of rough lines or anything like that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make sure we can see his head. Otherwise, you won't know what the heck's going on. So we're going to backlight him a little. There we go. All right. Okay, so what we're looking at here, we've got the Gwen, we've got the surfer, they're looking at each other. I think we've got enough of the guide in that I don't have to worry too much about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kill the underdrawing. No reason to keep the underdrawing at this point. All right, so the underdrawing now dies. Now we can look at this drawing as it stands on its own. Let's get in here and start working on some of these dunes. Okay. What we're trying to do here is just a little bit of drama. I'm going to rough this up here. A lot going on right here. Right? Give it some thickness here. We're going to go through here, and this is the beach. So we're going to put some stuff on the beach here. And we'll get to more things on the beach too here in a second, cans and whatnot, because those will all be on here. But for right now, let's just get the dots on. There we go, like that. Just like that. There we go. Perfect. So we've got our little Gwen here. He's probably really going to be more like this line on the side. He needs a mouth. But the other thing is, this is all very anthropomorphic. So what he really needs is to be wearing a t-shirt. So let's go ahead and some kind of indication. Oh, we're on the wrong layer. I can see already we've got a problem. Not a major problem, but it is going to be a minor problem. You have to stop. But why? You're on the wrong layer. In this instance, there's no real major problem with being on the wrong layer. There's nothing that's going to epically go wrong with it. It's just that we're going to have these things are on one layer and these things are on another. So what I'll probably end up doing here, yeah, he's adorable, isn't he? So I'm going to merge that down. I've got nothing better to do on this one. Now, I don't need to worry about the layer being, I don't need to worry about the underdrawing. Since I'm not worrying about the underdrawing, I can go ahead and flatten it out. But he's got sand on him. Right? He just climbed up from under the, you could probably have little webbed toes here. In fact, it'd be kind of funny if that's the whole thing is that he was lying down, but now he's sitting up. There we go. He's decided to sit up from his little sandy resting spot here. This, it looks like he's still covered sort of in sand. There we go. And we'll add some Some of the classic beach accoutrements. I'm just adding things to the beach. Just taught a little class today on art, a couple of teenagers, and I was just talking about one-point perspective, everything coming from the same point. You know, it's funny. All right. Almost certainly getting there. Just putting in some more clouds up here to indicate clouds. Because we have clouds to indicate clouds, guys. All right. Feeling kind of good about this particular one. This one didn't take that long to do. I'm going ahead and just kind of roughing up the edge over here. There we go. All right. Then we'll turn this on just long enough for me to bring that down. And then I'm going to actually cut the instructions off because I think we are good with this one. I think this one's done. And then I will save. And we're out of the way of 136. Look at that. Look at that. We've gotten 2 pages done today. That's not bad at all. Not bad at all. So let's go on ahead. And now let's talk about, kind of want to do a speed paint. So let's talk about a speed paint. With speed paint, first of all, I'm going to change my brush. Because in the speed paint, I've got this flat brush that I really like, right? It does like this. It looks kind of like a painting brush, right? We're going to... So, in a speed paint, one of the things you kind of want to do is start with just the basics, right? What are we looking at as far as dark and light? All right, so we're gonna have, let's have like a magician here. And this magician standing here, and maybe she's on one hand right up, way up here, and what we're doing is she's casting a spell. So like this. Right, so we got one hand here and one hand like right here. She's casting a spell of some sort. She's a magician. Maybe she's a mage, less magician, more mage, right? So we're looking just at like the basic shapes. Do this. Those basic shapes in. Put her hips here. I'm going to go through here like this. All I'm doing is just putting in the basic shapes. Feel like she might be dodging something. So she's turned sideways like this. One like there. One like here. Like she's dodging out of the way of something. I'm going to try to clear up some of the shape over here because we got some just roughness in the shape right here. Right, kind of going around this corner. So, just our basics, right? Just the basics. That's all we got going on here. This is just the basic shape of this character. Alright. Okay, now we'll go, and with this, I'm just going to lighten some of this up. I guess we're going to look at her head. Which way is her head angled? Might be angled this way. So we'll just come along the side here, and right here. And all we're doing is just pulling out some of this definition. Right, just the highlight of this character here. Things that are on the left side of her. Right, so from this side over here, and that's it. Okay. Bring up my brush. I'm doing the dark side of her over here. All right, going through here. Like I said before, we look at the anatomy of this character, right? So we're looking at the anatomy. Got a collarbone through here, up and over the deltoid, and back through, right? Got an arm, forearm here, and this forearm is let's talk about that forearm right here. Goes right through the elbow. Right? Now we got to go in here and sculpt this out. Put some shadow on this side, right through here. And right along this side right here. This helps define these shapes. What am I looking at here? What parts of the anatomy are we looking at here? Right? We'll do the same thing on this side here. We'll define the underside of her rib cage through here. and across the hip and down. Maybe she's got some kind of jacket or skirt that comes out a little on either side. That'll help us define in. And then we'll come along the side of the breast here, like that. That helps define this shape, right? Because we're going to have to define this shape somehow. But I feel like she's wearing a blazer maybe, or something like that. So this shape is going to be triangular and sharp, and it's not going to be straight up. And we'll come along here, set the highlights here, like this. Same thing on this side. At the moment, all I'm doing is grays. Everything is in gray. And it's just because it's easy to do that in the speed paint, kind of get this form in, things like that. So let's go across the other side of her chest here. And I feel like this flat upper part here on this blazer or whatever is going to be bright and shiny around her deltoid, up and over right here on her forearm, and come back through. And again, I'm going to use the eraser to just trim down my drawing. We'll come back up underneath here like this. I don't know where that thumb actually is, but it's confusing my anatomy. So until I figure out what I'm doing with it, I'm getting rid of it. Okay, so we're coming up there, around here. And all I'm doing is just defining this forearm, right? And you know what? I think I'm going to put a sword in this hand. So I'm going to go on ahead and turn the hand 90 degrees and put it like this. I mean, this is a sword and sorcery picture, right? I'll put this hand here and give her a blade that goes kind of like this. This will define this area right through here. Excellent. Now I can take a little more of this highlight up here and just go in on her fingers like this. Okay, we'll cross the other side here. Like I said before, I feel like this skirt just kind of on the flat here defines through the front of the body. Whatever the skirt is, I feel like it's more like a blazer. Honestly. Then we'll go back over here and do this to the leg. And the same thing over here. We're going to highlight this side of her leg. Alright, the This is actually brighter than the underlying gray that I had chosen before, so let's go down a couple of steps just so this isn't so weird. Fill in this section here and this. Highlight. Now we'll go into the sort of the mid through here. And come back over on this little. There we go, more like that. Cut in a little more on her body here. It looks like her body is oblong or lopsided to one end, like this. Cleaning up some of my we'll just come back around. Speed painting takes a long time. I just figured I'd get started on this, and then we'd have ourselves a speed paint that we could return to later and do some more work on as time permits. We've got, this is a sort of a 2-hour job or 3-hour job to do speed paint, so you can't really do it in one sitting, and that's okay. I actually think it's good for us and healthy for us to walk away from our art every so often and come back to it later. It gives us a fresh eye, and it's able to see the artwork better. I mean, did we screw it up? Did we screw up the anatomy? What are we doing here? Does anybody even know who's in charge of this thing, right? I'm just giving shape to this body, this mass. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if it's a good idea to leave me in charge, see, Brent. Here's the worry for me. Is it really a good idea to leave me in charge? Have you guys seen what happens when I'm in charge? We get cookies all the time, which I'm sure everybody appreciates cookies. The CO is always into cookies and donuts. Good things. On the other hand, we're all fat, and that just doesn't go over well, you know? And that's not good. Is that really the right thing? Is it? All right, so